You guys know police brutality runs rampant within the United States of America, and if it weren't for cell phone cameras and social media, we probably wouldn't even know that much about police brutality. We have another story about the Chicago Police Department, which is one of the infamously worst police departments. You have Chicago and Baltimore, which I think are two of the most famous for being horrific and just terrible police departments. 3 Chicago police officers have now been charged of conspiracy or covering up the killing of Laquan McDonald. So Laquan McDonald was another unarmed African-American man who was fatally shot by police officers. They hid the footage for a very long time, and it actually the failure of the Republicans to denounce this was the reason. I forget the guy's name, man, but he was like this popular conservative kid, because there aren't that many conservative kids. But it was just an absolutely brutal shooting where he's just walking and he gets shot. But here's what NPR says. They say, a grand jury indicted 3 Chicago police officers on felony charges on Tuesday, accusing them of conspiring to cover up the facts of a fatal police shooting in October 2014 of a black teenager in order to shield their fellow officer. Officer Jason Van Dyke, who is white, shot 17-year-old Laquan McDonald 16 times, according to prosecutors. 16 times. 16. How many times would the fucking say that? This motherfucker shot 16 bullets into this man. Oh my god, that's so invigorating. 16 bullets. Say, Dashcam footage eventually released under a court order more than a year after the killing. So they hid this shit for a year, more than a year. They hid the footage for more than a year. Showed Van Dyke shooting McDonald as he walked away from the officer. Van Dyke has been charged with first-degree murder and pleaded not guilty. Police initially told a different story, and the Cook County grand jury indictment alleges that 3 officers, David March, Joseph Walsh, and Thomas Gaffney, were at the scene of the killing and worked together to conceal crucial facts in the initial police report. The report, which was shown to be false in light of the Dashcam video, has stated that McDonald was assaulting the 3 officers, forcing Van Dyke to step in and defend them. The inaccurate story stated that McDonald was lunging toward Van Dyke and slashing a knife when he shot him. In fact, the police report described Van Dyke, Walsh, and Gaffney as victims of McDonald. So the unarmed African-American man who was shot at, they lit him up with 16 bullets. They lit this dude up with 16 bullets. They pretty much, lit a mag into him, you know? I mean, this is ridiculous, right? You're talking about, 16 bullets into him? And they called the officers victims. So the unarmed African-American man walking away, right? You have the car here. You light him up 16 bullets. Pack in a mag, right? Light him up 16 bullets, and the cops are the victim. Of course, this was before the Dashcam footage, but this is what the cops claimed, and they believed it. Quote, the indictment makes clear that these defendants did more than merely obey an unofficial code of silence, Special Prosecutor Patricia Holmes Brown said in a statement. Rather, alleges that they lied about what occurred to prevent independent criminal investigators from learning the truth. According to the indictment, the men knew that a public airing of the events surrounding Laquan McDonald's killing, including the video recordings, would inexorably lead to a thorough criminal investigation by an independent body and likely criminal charges. So this is one of the worst shootings I have seen, period. And if it weren't for the footage, I mean, here's a pretty quick way to help fix at least the problems that we have. A good way to help fix would be to actually be able to convict these people of murder. Because if you start convicting them, and I appreciate this indictment on the conspirators, because if you do this, it will help make it so that other police officers hopefully will be more truthful and be more afraid of being conspiratorial, and therefore will be able to get the actual information and bring the people to justice who need to be brought brought to justice. What's up, guys? It's Saul Hill here. You guys are watching The Progressive Voice. Make sure you guys click subscribe down below. We're fighting Donald Trump tooth and nail, and we need your help.